Welcome to day 3 of the Art Loeb. We had a very pleasant night. It got down to about 30, but there was no wind. It was complete silence. We had the campsite all to ourselves and we stayed warm. You stay warm, babe?
Yeah.
Yep. So we have 7.7 to do today. We're headed out about 7:30 this morning. And got a little creek crossing here. And yeah, our car will hopefully be waiting for us. And we can't wait. This has been a very, very difficult trail, just terrain-wise, and elevation. When it goes up, it's steep. When it goes down, it's steep. And right now we're walking on level ground, but this is like maybe 5% of the trail. Well, we're in the final 1.5 stretch and we just finished another hill. It's relentless, but I am walking on pine needles now and it's really soft. It feels really good. It's cold out. It almost got colder since we left camp and it's never really warmed up. The sun has not come out today. But there's no rain, so that's good because it's like chilly out here. We made it!
We did.
The end!
Goodbye.
Woo. So we are driving home now after our hike and just thought we'd do a little wrap up of the Loeb Trail. So yeah, it was a great hike. It was beautiful. We had some really beautiful views. It was difficult and hard, which we fully expected, and it was. We agree.
It's funny, every time we mention the word Art Loeb, if someone's hiked it, they'll say, ooh, that's a hard one. And they're not lying.
Yep. It was hard. Let's see what else. Oh, we really wanted to do it too, to test out some new gear for our PCT hike next year. So we did. I have a new sleeping bag, which I really liked it, but I had a problem with the zipper. It's the Mountain Hardwear Phantom 15.
It's brand new, and she had a problem with the
Brand
zipper.
new.
Not good.
And I'm not hard on the zipper or anything. I just use it like a normal person. So I'll need to talk to the company about that. But I really liked it. It kept me really warm, so I really liked that. It was super comfortable. It has a thing that comes up behind my head, and then like a buffer that comes around my neck, and it's long too, so I could totally get down under it. And I have a new pillow, which I loved, the Nemo Philo, I think it's called. It has like a layer of fabric over the top, so it makes it really cushy, and it's still an air pillow, but it felt a lot less like an air pillow than any pillow I've had before.
I think I might want one.
Yeah, I think he needs one. What else do we try? Oh, so our friend Dale let us borrow his tarp tent double rainbow tent, and we tried that out. We're still thinking about, we're not sure really what tent we're going to get for the PCT, but
Yeah, so the advantage to the double ring, you know, I'm a tall guy, and it's tough finding a tent where my feet aren't hitting the wall at the end. So the double rainbow fits my 6'3" frame very well. I've got probably 3 inches at my head and at my foot. The width of the double rainbow is wider than the Big Agnes. Although the way the slope goes, Chica felt kind of confined and felt like it was hitting her.
yeah,
So,
he's talking about the slope of the ceiling. It's raised in the middle, the center point, but like along the sides, they were like kind of close. So like if you try to sit up from a sleeping position, you're gonna hit the wall unless you're like right in the middle of the tent.
yeah.
And then the doors were kind of offset from each other, which we're not, I don't know, I'm just not
Right.
used to that.
Yeah, they design it so that if you do have 2 people sleeping in it, they're sleeping head to toe instead of side by
Yeah.
side.
Which we're not going to do that. We
it's
want
very
to be
weird.
next to each other, our heads next to each other.
I don't know who would want to sleep in that position
Yeah.
and smell the other person's feet.
Yeah.
But certainly not couples. I mean, maybe, I guess if you're 2 guys and
You're
you
sharing a
don't
tent, but
you
how
don't-
often does that happen?
Yeah, not too frequently, I would guess. But anyway, the version that Dell lent us was the Dyneema version, so it was single walled, and so we did have some condensation issues,
lot of
significant condensation issues, and it is quite loud when the wind was
It's
whipping.
windy.
Although, to be fair,
Any tent would have been loud that night.
we probably had 30 or 40 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
It was whipping pretty good.
Yeah.
The version, if we were to get the tarp tent double rainbow, would be what they call the DW, the dual walled one, which allows you to set up the fly and the inside independently of each other. So if we just wanted to get out of the sun on the PCT, let's say, we could just set up the fly. Or if it was a beautiful starlit night, we could just set up the inside and then have a view of the stars. So we really like that aspect of it. But you can do that with the Big Agnes as well. Another piece of gear that I tried on the trail for the first time is the Appalachian Gear Company alpaca hoodie. I've been wearing it around the house a lot because it's winter and it's the perfect thing just to lounge around in. But it handled cold weather very well. I like it a lot. I was kind of hesitant to get it. I'm not a bandwagon guy, so outside of a bear bag, I've never owned a piece of Z-Pack equipment. I know Jen loves her Melanzana, but because everybody loves the Melanzana, I just don't want to get one. And so the Appalachian Gear Company is kind of like that. They got really popular, but it is. I do like the fact that it's alpaca.
Straight.
Thank you. It's alpaca and it's a natural fiber, so it's very much like merino wool. It almost kind of sheds water, and then it regulates temperature very well. and it's super comfortable. I absolutely love it. Well worth what I paid for it. I can't remember what that was, but and then another thing I tried, because this double rainbow tent can be set up independently of stakes. You can set it up freestanding. I wanted to try some heavier duty hiking poles, so Dale let me use his C-Knock, I think it's pronounced knock, poles. They're certainly heavy, but there's a couple things I don't like about them outside their weight. The cork is kind of rough. It has an actual left side and a right side to it, so you have to have the handle in the right hand, which I don't like. And so, I've used the Lecky poles since my Appalachian Trail through hike, and I don't think I'm ready to give them up.
Also, I tried out this fleece hoodie by a company called Ewer. It's woman-owned, and it has the side strip here. Otherwise, it's kind of like the Melly. It has a kangaroo pocket and a hood, but it's not as thick or warm as the Melly. So I'm still trying to decide if I should use this for the PCT or my Melly. I don't know. I love the thumb holes on this, and the hoodie. I like it without that toggle that Melly has, although that can be helpful to cinch it really close around your face if it's really cold out. So I don't know, but I really like how this fits, how it feels. And I have my sun hoodie on underneath the Mountain Hardwear Crater Lake, which I love that. That's going to be my sun hoodie for sure on the PCT. What else about the trail? Obviously, we did it in the winter, and it was colder than we thought. The first night especially. We did camp at a knob, so we should have known.
But that being said, we were prepared for those temperatures.
Yeah.
It still was cold.
And it's good to know that our sleeping bags did keep us warm with us pretty bundled up in clothing as well.
Yes.
For that cold night. Like, it said it was 20 degrees, but the wind chill had to be colder than that.
Oh yeah, it was 10 degrees.
And our water bottles were totally frozen in the morning. We couldn't even open our bear can because it was like all frosty, and our fingers were just frozen like within minutes of getting out of the tent, even with our gloves on. So anyway, what else about the trail?
I like the distance. 30 miles is perfect. Since it is a hard trail, if you break it up into 10-mile days, you have some pretty difficult days, and you can get quite a bit of exercise.
We got a lot of exercise.
Yeah. Really, the only thing that me personally I didn't like is it's so poorly marked. You really have to rely on GPS and a little bit of instinct. You just have to know when something doesn't feel right and doesn't feel like you're on the trail, because you can't stay glued to your GPS the whole time. So there were several times probably 3 or 4 times where we got off. And luckily, there's so many trails that interconnect with the Art Loeb. If you're off trail, you're most likely going to reconnect with the Art Loeb at some point. So
we did use the Gaia for that, and all trails, both of us had each of those, and we did use both of them.
And both those apps, you can use in airplane mode, so it doesn't suck your battery dry, and it just shows you where you are in conjunction to where the trail is.
So you know how to get back to the trail.
how to get back to the trail.
Yep.
But yeah, the blazes are few and far between. Intersections, you're constantly intersecting other trails, and a lot of times it doesn't tell you what trail is what, and you just have to look at your map and go. So either take a map and compass or take a GPS, because you'll need it.
And also, we did use the paper fold out I brought along a lot, because it tells you where the water sources are,
And that's made by anti-gravity gear, I think.
Yes, and the elevation and shelters or campsites. So that's really helpful with planning. And while we were on trail, I was always looking at it.
So one other thing is water. You know, we were fortunate that we had a week worth of heavy rains right before we got on trail, and so there was seemingly water everywhere. We had no problems with water. From what we've heard from other people who've hiked the trail, water can seriously be a problem, especially if you're doing smaller mile days. So be conscientious of that, and make sure you know where the water is and how long your carries are going to be, so you can plan appropriately.
Yep. So all in all, we had a really good hike. It's been kind of on my radar, at least. I've wanted to do this hike for a while, just because the name sounds cool, our Loeb, and it's in our area, and I've heard people talking about it, and I've seen videos. So, and it's so short. It's 31 miles, so it's just something fun to do. And I think we picked out a pretty good weather window, except for not knowing how cold it would get the first night. But other than that,
yeah, and we're driving home in the rain right now.
It started raining as soon as we got in the car, so it's like, oh.
And you know, Jen alluded to it, but if you didn't watch our previous video that we just did a couple weeks ago, where we talk about our plans for 2023 and 2024, we are planning and we have committed to doing the PCT in 2024. So we're already
next year.
We're already starting the process of getting our gear right for that. I'm not wearing it, but Greg got me this cute little PCT buff, to inspire me to keep training for it. I'm so excited. She finally came around and wants to do the PCT with me. So I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I was really kind of hesitant to do it by myself, not because I'm scared to hike alone, but because
you just need me.
4.5 months is a very long time away from home. So
yeah.
Or however long it's going to take to hike it. So. And
it is really exciting to do it together, because we help each other, we inspire each other, we take care of one another, we hike well together. I mean, I think we're really good hiking partners.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And we love kind of planning for a big thing like this. So yeah, it'll be great.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Hope you liked our videos, and let us know if you have any questions.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.